My video for November 26th, 2017 is entitled Skull and Bones Demonic Criminals Still Loose. I watched a documentary yesterday entitled Dark Legacy about the criminal enterprise birthed out of the Yale University Skull and Bones fraternity. Of course, George H.W. Bush, one of the most famous men in that group, was the 41st President of the United States Incorporated. Yesterday, he became the longest living president in U.S. history. Jimmy Carter isn't far behind, only 4 months younger than Daddy Bush. Along with many other bonesmen in the evil empire, Bush left a trail of dreadful crimes against humanity, including credible likelihood of participation in the murder of John F. Kennedy. He told Sarah McLendon in 1992, quote, "If the American people ever find out what we have done, they would chase us down the street and lynch us," end quote. I would like to know, when will the supposedly omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent God creator hold this criminal cabal accountable? We've already had way too much insanity let loose on this planet. If I had those omni qualities, the world would no longer be ruled by demonic men who sold their souls to some devil. Yes, and I'm recording this after going to hear my son's band play tonight. And I actually left before they were completely finished, which I don't usually do. But their gig is running later than it usually runs too. So I wanted to get home to make this video because I have a big day ahead of me tomorrow and I have to get up early. So I decided to create a video, create the blurb and the title and everything. I didn't have it pre-done before I went to hear my son. So here I am at just about 1:30 in the morning, recording the video. And after I finish with this and get it up, it'll be about another hour. And I'll be able to finally get to bed and hopefully get some sleep. In any case, that was a very interesting video that I watched yesterday called Dark Legacy. And even though it was about George Bush, that is Daddy Bush president, not Prescott Bush, because the Bush clan is a criminal clan that's all skull and bones stuff. I mean, it goes back, I don't know how far back it goes, but at least 3 generations of criminals have gone through the skull and bones fraternity process. I don't know what that is, but there's dark rituals, and of course they're probably connected with what is that place in California called? I can't remember it right off the top of my head. I shouldn't have brought it up, but I just did. In any case, folks, we have to have some changes, and it has to come from non-human sources or extra-human sources or human-empowered sources, something that has decency and, as I said, omnipotence. If God is all-powerful, why did God even allow this stuff to ever take place, not just on earth, but anywhere? Why should people or sentient beings be subjected to such tyranny and such violation of free will and natural rights, human rights? I mean, I believe in human rights. I believe we were endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. Okay? Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, the ability to receive reward for the labor that we do. It doesn't have to be money. In fact, the monetary system is part of the problem. I don't really see it as being a solution unless the criminals are taken out and people that have good intentions are somehow enriched and empowered. But will that ever happen? I don't know. But I do know that Bush and the Clintons and Obama and probably most presidents in our history in the 20th century and the 21st century have been criminals in some respects. Even Jimmy Carter did a lot of things that I think are horrendous. I think he tried to do some good things, and he's probably the best ex-president in our history as far as humanitarian projects. And so I still have respect for Jimmy Carter as a human being. I don't think he's a bad person. He wouldn't have done all of the charitable things he's done if he was not a decent person underneath. And everybody that rises to a high level in any government in our modern world had to have done some pretty rotten things to even get to the place where they could be in those positions. And I'd like to see some of these criminals taken out. And I keep arguing with God. And I'd like to say praying. But I have no respect or reverence for a God that continues to allow such abominations. It shouldn't ever have been allowed, ever, anywhere, at any time. It's just insane. I don't mind giving people free will and allowing us to make mistakes. I don't want to be a robot. I don't think we should be controlled. I think we should be allowed to do things that are pretty rotten and learn lessons from them. But when I look at the world, what lessons are learned? I mean, Bush is an old man now. He's facing serious health challenges, pneumonia and stuff like that. But even in his early 90s, he was still quite active. Only in the past year has he been a little bit troubled by bad health. And I don't know what the health of Jimmy Carter is. He could end up being the longest living ex-president in our history. I don't know. Reagan wasn't far behind, and neither was Gerald Ford. They were also ex-presidents that lived into their 90s. But folks, I have lived my life. I'm 71, and I want to see real change. Not change I can believe in and hope for, but change that I can experience as a human being still in this body. I don't know how much longer I have. I live day by day. I have certain things that still trouble me health-wise, but mostly I'm quite healthy. And I'd just like to see a turnaround. I'd like to see people that have positive intentions enriched and empowered to be able to accomplish good things for humanity, to give humanity a new chance, a new birth of freedom. As Abraham Lincoln said, that from these dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of their devotion. And Abraham Lincoln was probably not, he was certainly not Honest Abe. He was another lawyer, charlatan, and there's just so much corruption that has plagued human history and has held us back from accomplishing higher goals and meeting higher ideals. When is it going to change, folks? When is Skull and Bones going to be put out of business as it should be? And when are these demonic criminals going to be finally held accountable for their crimes against humanity? These are questions that we should all be asking. Thank you for listening, and namaste.